I grew up in a small rural town where the only exciting thing was the old lake just outside the woods. It wasn't much, just still water, murky and brown, surrounded by pine trees that blocked out the sun. But we all had the same rule: you don't swim in it after dark. My dad used to say it wasn't safe. The bottom dropped off too suddenly, and there were sinkholes. That's what he told me anyway. But I remember one summer night when I was 17, I saw something move out there. I had been sitting on the dock, legs dangling above the black water, when the ripples started. At first, I thought it was just a fish. Then I realized the ripples weren't spreading outward. They were circling, closing in. The moonlight hit something pale just beneath the surface. An arm. Human. But the hand was wrong. Too long, too thin, the fingers bending in ways they shouldn't. I froze. It stopped moving right beneath my feet. I could see its face now, looking up at me through the water. White, bloated skin, wide black eyes that didn't blink, and a mouth stretched too far into a grin. It didn't break the surface, just stared. When I finally scrambled back from the edge, the thing's head tilted, like it was curious. Then, with one slow motion, it raised its hand out of the water and tapped the wooden dock 3 times. Tap, tap, tap. I ran home, but I didn't tell anyone. I didn't need to. They all avoided the lake for a reason. A week later, my best friend went missing. They found his car near the woods, keys still in the ignition. No sign of him anywhere, except when the police searched the lake, they swore they heard knocking from underneath the dock. Nobody goes there anymore. But sometimes, on quiet nights, if you stand at the shore and listen, you can hear the taps. The bus rumbles along a dimly lit road. Only a few scattered passengers remain. A man in a hoodie near the back, a woman reading by the window, and you sitting midway. Rain streaks across the glass. The sound of the wipers blends with the low hum of the engine. The bus slows at a stop. The doors open, but no one gets on. You glance at the driver, but they're staring straight ahead, face unreadable. The doors hiss shut, and the bus pulls away. Street lights pass rhythmically. Light, shadow, light, shadow. As the bus passes one intersection, you notice a figure standing under the streetlight. Tall, still, watching. The bus passes by. You lose sight of them. Your phone buzzes. Unknown number. Do not get off alone. You look around. The other passengers seem normal enough, though the man in the hoodie now has his head down, hands clasped. The bus stops again. This time, the woman with the book gets off. Through the window, you see her walk a few steps, then freeze. She turns her head slowly, looking towards something out of sight. The bus pulls away before you can see more. A few minutes later, the hoodie man presses the stop button. As the bus slows, you glance outside. There's no stop sign, no shelter, just an empty intersection. He steps off into the darkness. The driver shuts the doors, but as the bus pulls away, you see it in the reflection of the glass. The tall figure is now standing right behind the hoodie man. The lights outside blur. Your phone buzzes again. Do not look at it. You swallow hard, shifting in your seat. The driver speaks for the first time, voice low. Last stop. You glance around. The bus is empty now. But you never saw the others leave. The bus comes to a final stop at a deserted terminal. The driver turns in their seat. Only, it's not the driver anymore. The tall figure is sitting in the driver's place, facing forward, head tilted. Your phone buzzes one last time. It's your turn to get off. The doors open. Rain pours outside. Behind you, footsteps approach slowly down the aisle. You step into the ring. The bus pulls away, leaving you alone. You turn and see that the terminal is empty. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. The massive terminal is nearly empty, except for a few lone travelers. Your rolling suitcase echoes across the polished floor. Announcements crackle over the intercom. Flight 237 now boarding at gate C19. You glance at the departure board. Your flight is also listed as gate C19. Strange, you've never heard of flight 237. As you head down the long concourse, you notice the shops and cafes are closed. Every chair you pass is empty. A janitor mops the floor ahead. As you approach, they stop mopping and stand completely still, head tilted toward you. Their mouth opens like they want to speak, but no sound comes out. The waiting area is nearly deserted. One man sits near the boarding door, clutching a briefcase. He's staring at the blacked-out window like he's waiting for something to appear. The gate agent smiles too widely. Boarding soon, they say, though the jet bridge door is already open. Your phone buzzes. Unknown number. Do not board. When you look up, there are now more passengers in the seats, but you didn't see them come in. They're all facing away from you, completely still. The intercom repeats, Flight 237 now boarding. All passengers please proceed to gate C19. You blink, and suddenly, you're standing in the jet bridge without remembering walking there. The air smells like metal and dust. Ahead, the aircraft interior is dark, except for a faint red glow. Silhouettes of passengers are seated, unmoving. Your phone buzzes again. Turn around now. You're in the waiting area again, but now every seat is filled with people in old, tattered clothing, clutching suitcases from decades ago. The gate agent looks at you with cloudy eyes. Final call, they whisper. The passengers all stand at once. The sound of dozens of suitcases rolling fills the air. They file silently toward the jet bridge. The janitor is standing at the end of the hall, watching. Their mouth moves, but you can't hear the words. The lights flicker. You're suddenly seated on the plane. The seatbelt sign dings. Outside the window, there's no runway, just an endless black void. The intercom clicks on. Thank you for joining Flight 237. We'll be departing shortly, and we do not expect to return. The station is nearly empty. Fluorescent lights hum overhead, some flickering. A train is due in 5 minutes, according to the display board. Footsteps echo in the distance. They glance around, no one nearby. Sitting on the bench, they check their phone. When they look up again, there's a man at the far end of the platform. He's not moving, not waiting, just standing. The lights flicker once. When they steady, the man is closer. They shift uncomfortably, pretending not to notice. Another flicker. Now he's standing halfway between them, his head tilted slightly, mouth open as if mid-breath. The phone buzzes. Unknown number, new message. Don't let him get too close. Heart pounding, they glance up. The man hasn't moved this time. The train screeches faintly in the distance. The lights flicker again. Now the man is standing just a few steps away. His eyes are glassy, unblinking. Another message. If the lights go out, run. They grip their bag. The flicker lasts longer this time. Total darkness for half a second. When the lights come back, the man is gone. Silence, except for the approaching train. A slow exhale. Then, a wet breath on their neck. They spin around, no one there. The train roars into the station. Doors slide open. They rush inside and take a seat near the exit. The train pulls away from the platform. Relieved, they glance up. The man is sitting directly across from them, smiling.